Hey everyone, welcome back. You're interested in UCO Bank, huh? We've got their earnings call transcript, the official results, the whole shebang.
A lot to dig into.
It is. There is. First off, did you see that they're planning on opening like over 1,000 new branches this year?
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Especially the whole, move to online banking these days.
Right. So before we get into the why of all that, let's look at how they actually did this quarter. Overall business growth is looking good, 12.28% year on year.
Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. And advances are up even more, 16.44%. What do you think is driving all that loan growth?
Well, if you look at the numbers, it seems like UCO Bank is really focusing on retail loans,
Okay,
specifically home loans and vehicle loans.
interesting.
Those are up over 31%, which is a pretty big jump.
Yeah, that is a big jump.
Seems like they're really going after that consumer lending market.
Do you think that this signals a shift in their overall strategy? Like, are they trying to attract a younger, more digital customer?
It's possible. They're also seeing a good increase in their CASA ratio, which is up over 8%.
Right.
So that means they're attracting more low-cost deposits, which, gives them more fuel for all that loan growth.
That makes sense.
Well,
Okay, so they're bringing in the money, they're lending it out,
uh-huh.
but are they making smart lending decisions? What about the quality of those loans?
Well, their gross NPAs are down to 2.91%, which is a good sign.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, this downward trend that we're seeing really indicates a healthier loan portfolio overall.
That's good to hear. Can we dig a little deeper into the different types of loans, though? I'm kind of curious to see the breakdown there.
Yeah, sure. So if you look at the specifics, the retail loan NPAs are actually super low at just 0.74%.
Wow.
However, the agricultural loan NPAs tell a different story.
Yeah, those are still at 11.70%, which is down from last quarter,
It is an improvement, yeah.
but it's still relatively high compared to other sectors. Any thoughts on why that might be?
That's a good question. There could be a lot of factors at play here. Maybe the agriculture sector is facing some difficulties that are making it harder for people to repay their loans. It's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Definitely. All right, so let's move on to profitability. UCO Bank's operating profit is up a massive 41.73% year on year, and net profit is up 27%.
Those are some serious numbers.
Yeah, they are. So what's contributing to all this success?
Well, there are a couple of key factors. First, their net interest income is up almost 20%,
Okay.
which basically means they're making more money from, their core lending activities. But what I find really interesting is their non-interest income, which is up a whopping 38%.
38%. Wow. What's driving that?
Well, it seems to be a mix of things. Fee income recoveries and gains from their treasury operations. So it's not just about their lending business. They're diversifying their income streams, which is, a smart move.
It is a smart move.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing well financially. They're diversifying their income. But what about their big digital transformation project, Paravartan? Are they actually embracing this digital shift, or is it just all talk?
Well, based on the information we have, it looks like they're actually making some real progress with this digital transformation.
Okay.
They have 9 digital journeys live already, and they've already exceeded their digital business targets.
What does that look like in actual numbers?
Well, their asset side digital business has already passed 13 billion. And on the liability side, they've crossed €80 billion in FDs and RDs. Plus, their mobile app has a 4.7-star rating. So it seems like customers are actually using it and enjoying it.
Those are some impressive numbers for sure. But hold on a second. How does all this digital progress make sense with their plan to open over 1,000 new branches? It feels like they're going in two totally different directions.
Yeah, it does seem a bit contradictory, right? But I think there's more to this than we're seeing at first glance. We can explore those potential reasons and what it could mean for UCO Bank's future in the next part of our deep dive.
Ooh, okay. Little cliffhanger. We'll have to wait and see what insights we uncover after the break. Okay, so we've got this interesting puzzle. UCO Bank going digital like crazy, but also opening tons of new branches. Seems kind of contradictory, don't you think?
Well, you have to remember that India is a really diverse market.
Right.
Digital adoption is increasing, yeah. But there's still a lot of people, especially in rural areas or older generations, who just prefer traditional banking,
So are you saying this branch expansion is about reaching those customers who might not be comfortable with online or mobile banking?
Exactly. A physical branch, it offers a sense of trust and personal interaction that's really hard to replicate online.
That's true. But wouldn't that require a ton of investment? Like in training infrastructure, how can they make sure this expansion is profitable and sustainable long term?
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a balancing act for sure.
Yeah.
They'll need to optimize branch operations, maybe By using a hybrid model,
Mm.
integrating digital tools and services into that branch experience.
So maybe it's not two opposite strategies, but more like a blended approach.
Right.
They're not getting rid of traditional banking, they're just adapting it.
Exactly. It's like what they call a phygital strategy.
Digital.
Yeah, phygital. They're giving customers the best of both worlds, the convenience of digital banking and the personalized service of physical branches.
Okay, I see. That actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Meeting customers wherever they are online, on their phone, or walking into a branch.
Yeah.
So speaking of adapting, let's talk about their ESG initiatives for a bit.
Hmm.
You mentioned earlier that they seem to be making an effort there.
Yeah, definitely. They've got several initiatives that are, in line with environmental, social, and governance principles.
Okay.
For example, they're offering special interest rates on loans for electric vehicles.
Oh, yeah. To encourage people to go green.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a good way to incentivize sustainable choices.
I agree. And they've also got that green deposit scheme where customers get better rates for environmentally conscious deposits. I really like that idea.
Me too. It aligns their business goals with a larger purpose.
For sure. It resonates with those customers who want their money to have a positive impact.
Right. Absolutely. And on top of that, they're also increasing their renewable energy portfolio, which is currently at 37 billion.
Wow. That's a serious commitment.
Yeah.
Well, what about the social side of things? Are they doing anything to help with financial inclusion and supporting underserved communities?
Oh, yeah, for sure. They have several initiatives in that area, too. They're really focusing on financial literacy programs, especially for women and young entrepreneurs.
I think that's so important, especially in a country like India, where access to financial services could be a challenge. It's not just about profits, it's about empowerment.
Exactly. And their Pink Basket is a great example of that. It's a product suite specifically designed for women, offering tailored loan products, insurance schemes, and investment options.
So they're taking a holistic approach to ESG, making it a core part of their business and not just some side project.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what makes it so interesting. It's not just PR. It's about creating a sustainable and inclusive business model for the future.
Okay, so we've covered their business performance, digital transformation, branch expansion, and ESG initiatives. Seems like a lot of positives. But like any investment, there are always risks. What are some potential challenges UCO Bank might face going forward?
Well, one challenge that we already talked about is managing the cost of all these new branches.
Right.
Maintaining such a big physical network can impact their profits, especially if they can't optimize things and effectively integrate their digital tools.
And that's really important with all the competition in the banking sector these days.
For sure. They're up against traditional banks and all these new fintech companies. Another thing to consider is their exposure to the agriculture industry.
Right.
Their agricultural NTAs are getting better, but they're still a bit high.
Yeah. So if something happens like bad weather or if crop prices change, that could really hurt their loan portfolio.
Yeah, exactly. It's a sector that's pretty vulnerable to things outside of their control, which adds to the risk.
Okay, so definitely some things to be cautious about. But overall, it sounds like UCO Bank is moving in the right direction. They're diversifying their income, embracing digital transformation, expanding their reach, and taking ESG seriously.
I agree. They're not just following trends, they're shaping the future of banking.
So for you, the listener, what's the big takeaway for you from all of this? What's caught your attention?
It's great to see UCO Bank making such positive strides. But remember, as with any investment, do your own research before jumping in. Make sure it fits with your financial goals.
Absolutely. So with that in mind, let's head into our final part and see what all this means for you and your interest in UCO Bank's future. So we've talked about, UCO Bank's numbers, their tech stuff, and even their whole sustainability thing. But at the end of the day, banking isn't just about, algorithms and spreadsheets.
Right. It's about people.
Exactly. It's about understanding what people need and helping them reach their financial goals.
Yeah.
So from what you've seen, how does UCO Bank handle that human side of banking?
Well, one thing that really stood out to me was their focus on financial inclusion. They're really trying to reach those underserved communities, especially women and younger entrepreneurs.
Can you give us like some specific examples of what they're actually doing?
Sure. So they've got these special loan programs like UCO UTE and UCO MSME Nari Salmon.
Okay.
And those are specifically designed to meet the needs of these groups. they're also putting a lot of resources into financial literacy programs.
I love that. It's like they're not just focused on the bottom line. They actually want to make a difference.
Exactly. And it's not just talk either. Take their Pink Basket product suite, for example.
Right.
That's a whole package designed to address the financial challenges that women often face.
Interesting.
It includes, things like tailored loans, insurance, and investment options.
Because they're really thinking about the whole picture, not just offering a one-size-fits-all solution.
Right. It's about understanding the different needs of their customers and offering solutions that actually work for them.
Now, for our listener who's been following UCO Bank, what would you say is the key takeaway here? If you had to sum it all up in like a headline, what would it be?
Hmm. I'd say UCO Bank, a traditional bank embracing the future. They're finding that balance between their strengths and adapting to, this fast-changing world.
I like that. They're not afraid to innovate, but they're also not forgetting about their core values and the trust they've built with their customers.
Exactly. They're definitely a bank to keep an eye on, not just for their financial performance, but also for their commitment to sustainability and financial inclusion.
So listener, keep watching UCO Bank. Their story's just getting started, and it seems like it's going to be a good one. But as always, remember to do your research and make sure any decisions you make align with your own financial goals.
Couldn't agree more. And don't forget, the financial landscape is always changing, so staying informed and adapting is key.
Absolutely. Well, I think we've given our listener a lot to think about today. This has been a pretty interesting deep dive, wouldn't you say?
I agree. It's been really fascinating to see how UCO Bank is tackling the challenges and opportunities in the banking world today.
And with that, we'll wrap up this deep dive into UCO Bank. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.